I'm Amanda. Most of you know me. Maybe a couple kids don't know me, but that's it. So when I was asked to give a testimony about 20 minutes ago, I didn't know what I was supposed to do it on. And Mrs. Wiggins gave me a suggestion. She asked me to give it short. We'll see if I can do that. Lately, I've been making sure that I stay faithful in my devotions. It's been one of my biggest things. And I've only missed one day in the last 2 weeks, and I felt so bad about missing one day. But in my devotions the other day, it touched on closing open gates so that you or someone else can move on and gain freedom from that. Maybe it's a fight. Maybe it's just something that's silly, really. But the devotional challenge or application was to pray and ask God if there was any open gates in any relationships that you may have even forgotten about, but that may need closed so somebody else can gain freedom or you yourself can gain freedom. So I did that, and I went into that without thinking, oh, no, there's nothing. Well, there was something, and God convicted me to fix things with Laura. And I've forgiven her for a long time ago, and she's forgiven me a long time ago, but neither of us really knew how to say something. And I sent her a message on Facebook. I was really nervous about it, and she responded, and I was really happy. And she thanked me for sending this message so that we could be faithful church members to each other. And I was so thankful. And in class, our Pastor Crawford, who was teaching us, talked about not to be surprised when God answers prayers. And yet I was surprised, and I really had to focus on not being surprised. And I was just so thankful that God blessed my obedience of listening to his conviction, that I was still surprised. And I really struggled with that because that same day, God answered another prayer of mine, which was about my cousin Drew. And I shared that with you guys, that he had cardiac arrest about 3 to 4 weeks ago, right before Christmas, and he was only 19. And it was a fear in my heart because I know that we have heart problems in our family, and I realized that's a sin that I'm even worrying about it, because no matter what happens, God's in control. And it was amazing to me that he saved Drew's life. And yeah, Drew's going to have some difficult times, but he saved his life, and I should be just thanking him for that. And then Ms. Wiggins also suggested maybe about my Sunday school class, and which is a big blessing. Mr. Lance, when he asked me to do the Sunday school lesson, I was shocked. I was like, me? Teach? No, I can't do that. But I did it anyways, and I prayed about it, and I prayed about it, and I realized God wanted me to do it. I was so nervous going to the first class, and Mrs. Wiggins came in and sat in, and I was shocked when I got told, you did a really good job. And that to me was an encouragement, because a few weeks later I was asked to take over the class for a couple months. I picked a lesson called Onward for Christ, which is essentially about understanding that God has a plan for every single one of us. And I wanted the kids to know that, because I don't want them to get to the point where I was. I was 15 when I got saved, and I had no idea that God had a plan for me until that time. And it's about being determined to serve him. My lesson shows the way that Saul changed and how he persecuted Christians, but then he turned around and then he preached at them, telling, I'm the chief sinner. And to me, knowing that Saul came to know God is pretty amazing, but it's even more amazing that it can relate to us. All of us have sins that we're like, God can't use me because of that, but he can. And it just shows how much God can change you through your salvation. My prayer for them is not only that I am a good example and that I be transparent with them. That's my biggest thing about teaching with them. I'm transparent. I let them know what I'm struggling. I don't let them know every single piece of what I'm struggling about, but I let them know that if I'm struggling in something, and I ask them to pray about me, and I ask them if there's anything I can pray for them about. And we go over prayer and praises 5 to 10 minutes before class usually. And then my other part of my prayer for them is that they determine to serve Jesus with their whole life, their whole heart. And when it gets tough, to know that God is still there for them, and that God can change every single one of us. So that's my prayer for my Sunday school class.